All right. So, welcome everybody. I'm Justin. This is Pansy's Friends with Benefits podcast. We are on, what is this now? We're freaking episode 19 now, I
I
think.
don't know, 18, 19. I don't know.
18 or 19 already? It's freaking
Yeah.
crazy, man. Well, welcome to the show. I did want to say for those of you guys who are watching us who do watch, who do take part of it, do take part, we do really appreciate you guys. And I appreciate the support. So I really appreciate you guys, and it helps us keep going. And so for those of you who are watching this on the other side of it, do like and subscribe us because it does help us, and it helps us to know, like, is any of this crap even, you guys even hearing any of this stuff? Is it helping anybody? Um, so yeah, but tonight I'm gonna go over a few things. Well, what did we want to talk about tonight, Pansy? I think we wanted to cover accountability, right?
Yeah. Accountability and accountability partners and
Yeah,
whether we find it useful, what other people's opinions and experiences are. So,
yeah. So it's gonna be Pansy and I tonight. We do have some very special guests coming up, just so you guys know. We'll announce that when the time is right, but we got some really cool guests coming up, so stick around for that. Tonight we're gonna talk about accountability and accountability partners. And I think for you, Pansy, I know the reason you wanted to talk about, maybe explain why you wanted to talk about it or why we wanted to talk about it.
because we've been implementing it more
Hmm.
in our lives in general, right?
Yeah.
And in
Yeah.
business. So,
Yeah. And I think as we start going through this process, it's kind of it's important. We started off talking about partnerships and all of that, and how to find the right partner, and those steps. But once you find the right partner, how are you guys helping keep each other accountable? How are you guys, ensuring that everybody's doing the work and doing what everybody says they're going to be doing, and what does that look like? How does that even work? And so we're putting that into practice. We've been putting it into practice, but we wanted to talk about it for that reason because it is helping us, and it's helping us to, I mean, the first thing we started doing, and this is no joke, like the first thing we decided to do, like, look, if we're going to be legit holding each other accountable on a daily basis, and keeping ourselves accountable to the work that we're supposed to be doing, what's the first thing we wanted to do? And so we came up with the idea, like, we're going to start tracking our time every day. We're going to start journaling down and writing down the time that either we're putting to good use or that we're wasting on a daily basis. So no joke, I've got a journal here of every single day this week, and in 30-minute increments, what am I doing with my day? Like, what's the time going to every single day? And then tomorrow, Pansy and I are gonna touch base, and we're gonna review what our week looked like and what our time was spent on during the week. And that's gonna help us determine, hey, where are the chunks of time that we can be putting more into the business, right? And into building this thing. So that's a big help. Is that where we're telling everybody to start? Not necessarily. It's a good place to start though, is figuring out what you guys are doing with your time. I put together a little slideshow that I'd like to go through to talk about what accountability means and what it means to us. Is there anything you want to add to that? I don't know if there's I think I touched on everything, but is there anything you want to add to
I don't know at this moment.
that?
You said slideshow and my mind went
And your
blank.
mind went numb. Okay.
Uh, Not my favorite for sure. Not my
Yeah,
favorite.
yeah, yeah. Well, it'll be relatively short. I just want to kind of go over what, like, the most important points, but before I do that, I kind of want to talk about what it means to have a good accountability partner and what it means to have a bad accountability partner. Because
I
we've
don't know if there's necessarily good or bad, but you
well,
definitely
maybe
need,
bad's not the right word, right? Maybe it's just not effective, right?
yeah.
Effective.
Well, I think you need someone that you're gonna be honest with, you know. Um,
Yeah.
I think we spoke about this before. if you're not honest with yourself or whoever you're doing this with, then what's the point?
Right.
Because that's where you're going to find where you're really lacking anything, right? What you're not doing.
And what is what does being honest mean for because we can say that, but what does being honest actually mean? For me, it means like don't sugarcoat shit. Like if you see something that's not happening or is not uh coming together the way you want, communicate it. How about that? How about talk about it and see if there's something that can be done. See if there's a middle ground. But the most important thing is be honest about it and communicate about it. Communicate it.
Right.
Um,
Well, being honest, you know, you have to be honest with yourself. Like
yeah,
we all know for the most part what needs to be done for any part of our life, right? We're all guilty of this. We all have something that we keep saying, "Oh, we're going to do this. We're going to do this." And we just never do it,
yeah,
you know?
yeah,
Um, so like more recently, like I know I need to start getting rid of things around my house.
mm,
Um, and for whatever reason, I just haven't. And then we started this accountability thing, and I had to be honest with the things that I've been avoiding and decluttering and eliminating things in the house is one of those things,
yeah,
you know.
yeah,
Uh, I'm still struggling with it. Why? I don't know. But, I'm still working on it. And,
yeah,
um, but it starts with being honest with what is the real things that you are avoiding.
yeah.
And sometimes it's little things and sometimes it's big things.
I would and I'm with you. I struggle with things as well, and it's a balance, right? You have to have discipline. You have to do things when your brain is telling you, "Oh, we could just go do this." Like, why do you want to go do that? That's hard. Like, we could just go do this thing over here, right? And
Creative.
that's you sabotaging yourself. It's not, and it's not. There's science that backs a lot of this stuff, and I'd love to get into that a little bit more. But like the procrastination stuff, right? There's science backing why a lot of that behavior comes to the surface. But it really does, at the end of the day, it comes down to discipline. It comes down to actually pushing yourself through those moments of like, I could go do the hard work and get it done right now, or I could go veg on YouTube or something, right? It's 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 you need to get this thing done, but your brain is running away from pain because that's what that thing represents. That hard thing that you need to get done over here is pain. And so your brain's trying to run away from that. It's trying to protect your subconscious is trying to protect you, right? Because it's like anything painful we tend to run away from. So having an accountability partner or having somebody that's there sort of in the background going, you know, there to kind of tell you don't slack off because I'm over here doing the work and you're not. It's a good motivator. It does help. And does it always work? Does it work for everybody? I'd probably say no. But it's a really good mechanism to keep you both on task and to, when you're not on task, come back to the table and go, okay, so we weren't on task. Why? What is it? Right? What is it that's keeping us from being on task? How can we do better? Right? It's not about scolding each other and talking smack to each other. Maybe sometimes, maybe a little bit,
Maybe sometimes a little bit.
maybe a little bit, but it's not about that all the time. And it's not. It is about having brutally honest conversations with each other when things
So it
aren't
comes down to trusting, probably trusting the other person or people that,
100%.
you know.
100%. Well, and so that comes down to, this is where I've when I first started in sub two, for example, I had some accountability partners, and it it's like it just fizzled out. Right? It was like, yeah, we're gonna do this. Yeah, we're gonna hold each other accountable. And there were days where I wasn't available, or there were days where they weren't available, and we weren't doing the work. We just weren't doing the work. And it's not one or the other person's fault. It's both of our fault, right?
Yeah.
So, but then also I've had times where I've been really gung ho and I have been doing the work, and the other person is just not there, right? And so it goes both ways. So that's where it comes down to really, we could go back and talk about picking the right partners, picking the right people. And that's part of that is understanding personality traits, and sort of seeing, asking questions and really listening when you're meeting these people and when you're meeting new people, and trying to find that accountability partner. So I would like in our Facebook group for everybody to pick an accountability. But if you haven't already, if you haven't met each other, part of the reason we're holding these Friday Facebooks or Friday lives is so people can jump in here and we can meet each other. That's part of the deal. So if you're in our Facebook group, if you're getting notified about these lives that we're doing on Friday nights, I know like 6 p.m. and later on Fridays is not the best time for everybody. And we're going to slowly but surely start to do more lives and more podcast episodes different times during the week, and try and make it more accessible to people. But this is the point of this. It's to jump in and to get to know each other and to meet new people and to find those people that are going to help you level up your game wherever you're at. So so remember that the next time you see us post a live, we're not just posting a live so we can record a podcast and you guys can just watch it on YouTube and veg out on it. It's to help people build their network, help people meet new people in this group, and to build our own community of people that are really here to level up in business, right? And just in
Well, and
life,
Mike and
not just business, but life too, right?
yeah, life.
So
Yeah.
yeah. So and we're not perfect. We're still going through the journey. That's part of the reason we did this as well, is because we wanted to share that with people as we go through this. Um, and some of the most successful people that we know were not afraid to jump in and go make a whole bunch of mistakes. That's but that comes with doing the work and doing it when it's honestly when it's the least convenient and when it's the most inconvenient. And still doing it and still doing the work. And again, I struggle with that. Pansy struggles with that. We all struggle with it. But the cool thing is you can build a muscle for it, and literally train your brain to do what you say instead of the other way around. Um, and that comes with practice, right? And if you're not practicing it, you're not gonna get better at that. Every time something hard comes up, you're gonna listen to that little voice in the back of your head that's telling you just to ignore it or to go do something else. You're going to continue listening to that. Instead, you need to take control of your brain and say, no, we're doing this thing. Shut up. We're doing this thing, and doing it. And what for me, have you ever heard of the Pomodoro technique? You ever heard of that before? So Pomodoro means it means tomato. And and the reason they call it the Pomodoro technique is it's the idea is you sit down to do something. Let's say you have a difficult task or something that you really don't want to do, like studying or cramming for an exam, or getting your accounting done for your business, or whatever it is, something you just don't want to deal with right now. It's a task that just is not something you want to do. So what you do is you set a timer for 30 minutes. I think it's either 25 or 30 minutes. Either way, it doesn't matter. 25 minutes, 30 minutes is fine. Either one of those is fine. But you set a timer. The reason they call it the Pomodoro technique is because the timer looks like the old school timers that you could set, that you would twist and set a timer. They look like a tomato. So that's why they call it, I don't know. That's why they call it the Pomodoro technique. But you set a timer for 30 minutes and you start doing your thing. You sit down, you actually start doing your thing. And when that timer goes off, you give yourself a 5-minute break. And then you come back and you set it again for another 30 minutes. But each time the timer goes off, no matter what you're doing, you stop and you give yourself a 5-minute break. And what that does is it helps to reset your brain because we have short attention spans. And also because when you're learning something or when you're doing something, especially when you're trying to learn something, uh, your brain, after an hour of just straight focus on something, after, most people anyways, there are exceptions in the world to this, but most people with an hour of sitting in one place and being focused on learning a thing, you start to lose focus and you actually stop learning at a certain point, right? So you
Yeah.
can set a time. It's just one little trick. You can set a timer, time yourself, and then give yourself a 5-minute break, and then come back. Set another timer. And what I find when I do that is that thing that I didn't want to do, it actually starts to become interesting, and you start wanting to do it. And you start wanting to, at least for me, you start wanting to get it done and do a good job at it. It's a weird thing when you start over here not wanting to do it at all and trying to avoid it, and then you set a timer, you start doing it, and all of a sudden now you really want to get it done, you want to do a good job at it, or you want to continue doing the thing and keep learning the thing, right? So it's effective for me, it works for me. So that's just one trick. All right, so I'm going to share my screen really quick. um, and bear with me a second, guys. Okay, so I put together this little slideshow. Hopefully you guys get something out of this, and it's beneficial to you guys. Obviously, comment down below if this sucks, and I'll never do it again. But anyway, so this is the true purpose of accountability. So I was thinking about this, and I was kind of going through what's the whole point of this thing. And I came up with some talking points, but accountability isn't just about checking in. It's about creating a system of support, challenge, and consequences that helps you stick to your goals. So that's what Pansy and I were talking about. So you get on, you have this accountability partner, and it really is it's important for you guys to come together, even if it's just once or twice a week. You should come together on a Zoom or over the phone. I would suggest getting together more than that and really coming up with a schedule. That's why Pansy and I started with, hey, let's hold each other accountable. Let's journal our time and figure out what we're using our time to do. Like, what do our days look like? Because then we can figure out where the time slots are that we can really focus on the business. So come up with a system of support, challenge each other, and give each other consequences. Like, okay, we say we need to do this XYZ thing that needs to get done. If it doesn't get done, you owe me dinner. If it doesn't get done, then you know XYZ, whatever. Come up with a consequence. There's a bunch of great. If you want to think of some good ideas for consequences to help hold each other accountable that aren't like you're fired kind of a thing, at least not in the beginning. Uh, you know, go ask some go on ChatGPT and ask like, hey, what are some good consequences that we can give each other to help hold each other accountable, as we're doing this project or whatever, right? There's a lot of things like you buy dinner, or you owe me $5, or whatever it is. You can think of plenty of examples. But it helps you guys stick to your goals and really start to learn what discipline is about, and start to learn, and both of you learning how to be disciplined. The next thing is choosing the right partner. We've gone through this sort of ad nauseum. We've done episodes about choosing your partner, choosing the right person. Your accountability partner should be someone who genuinely wants to see you win. It should not be somebody that is like, you suck and I'm doing you a favor. That's not the kind of person you want to partner with, right? The accountability partner should be someone who genuinely you both should want to see each other win, and you both should want to see and help pull each other through, because there's going to be difficult parts to this. And not someone who's going to enable your excuses. That's a big one, right? your partner should be somebody that's going to, for lack of a better word, give you some shit when you don't do what you say you're going to do. That's definitely necessary. Compatibility, trust, shared commitment are key. These are, we kind of, I think we kind of all instinctually know this stuff, but compatibility, trust, shared commitment are definitely keys to this. You got to be compatible with the other person. If it's you with a, you know, dragging the other person along, it's not going to work. Just don't even do it. It's not going to work. If it's, if you guys don't have the same values, the same morals, the same um, ideology, maybe not the same ideology, but definitely the same morals and the same, you know, um, same goals, maybe similar goals, then maybe you should find someone else. So, consistency is not negotiable. So this is a big one too. Weekly or regular check-ins build the habit. Sporadic or when it feels like it, accountability sessions lead to failure. That's just the fact of it. So we've got to set weekly or regular check-ins. So this is something I struggle with big time with my work because I never know from day to day, like when and I still work at W2, when my work is going to call me in for something. I work in cybersecurity, so I never know when something's going to pop off and I'm going to get called to be in a meeting or whatever. So it can be really challenging. And for those of you who are in similar situations, it can be really challenging to figure out a time, uh, a regular time. But I guarantee you, if you spend a little bit of time like Pansy and I are doing and journaling your time and figuring out what you're doing with your day, you could find a block of time that for the most part will be open. And so that's what we're doing. So the next step for Pansy and I is finding those days and that chunk of time that we can meet every single week without exception, right? That we know we're going to be there and we're going to meet and we're going to get the work done that needs to get done. So so yeah, when it feels like it kind of stuff, if you find that that's what's starting to happen, it's call it out for what it is and maybe you need to find a different partner, find a new accountability partner, or maybe it's you, right? That's where being brutally honest with yourself and with your partner come into play. All right, clear expectations and goals. Define what you're being held accountable for. This is a, man, I don't know about everyone else, but it just seems like we have this real problem of formalizing the work that you're trying to get done and setting down clear expectations of what you expect, what the expectations for each person is. Like let's define the work that we're trying to do here and what is the expectation for each of us, the things that we need to get done, that I expect you to get done and that you expect me to get done. Let's define them. Like put it on a freaking Google Doc, like write it down. um and then now you can start talking about deadlines, behaviors, habits, but the big one is let's define the work. Let's define our expectations of what that work, what we're expected to do with that work or that project, and and then we can start setting down deadlines. And deadlines are a big one too because if you've got goals, if you've got expectations, if you don't put a timestamp on any of it, then it's never going to get done. It's like, okay, Pansy, you need to do this by tomorrow at this time. Justin, I should be doing this and it should be done by tomorrow at this time. We're going to come together either tomorrow or whenever our set day is or days are, and we're going to check each other's work. We're going to see if it got done, right? So remember, clarity prevents misunderstandings, and that happens all the time. And I'm guilty of that. I think everybody's probably guilty of that, or has been guilty of that at some point. But try and be as clear as possible, um, and define it. Put it down on paper and define it, and that way there's no misunderstandings. We defined what each of us were supposed to do, what the expectations were, and you're just either you are holding accountable to it or you're not. It's pretty simple. All right. mutual accountability works best. So the partnership should be two-way. If a person is always chasing the other, and this is what I was talking about, if you feel like you're constantly like you're having to drag the other person along, and then it's time to have a hard conversation. It's not necessarily time to just tell the other person F off, but it's time to have a difficult conversation, right? And that's a part of it. And I get it, right? Um, and I've been on the side of pulling someone along, and I've been also the person that's been pulled along. So I'm not innocent in that. And if we're being honest with ourselves, I bet you a lot of us have been on both sides of it. One or maybe just on one side of it, but be honest with yourself and you'll probably find that you've been on both sides of this coin right here. So, but again, it turns into a policing rather than a partnership. That's not what you want. You're not, if you guys are partners, you're accountability partners, you're trying to build a business or you're trying to accomplish something together. It's not about policing each other. It's not, I should say it's about holding each other accountable, but it's not about, constantly having to check on each other, right? And constantly having to push the other person to do the thing. If they're not doing it, let's figure out why. Let's get together and figure out why. And if it continues, then yeah, then it's time to have a difficult conversation or find a different partner. So this is the next one. Radical honesty is essential. That plays into that. So be brutally honest with each other. Sugarcoating defeats the purpose of accountability. So I've been on that as well. Been on that part of that as well. You do have to be. You don't be afraid to have the difficult conversations with each other, because if you are and you don't do it, it's just going to fester. It builds resentment, and it's just going to drag things on. It's going to drag things out that could have been improved sooner or had been cut off sooner. Tracking progress and celebrating wins. This is we're getting to the end of this, just FYI, so I'm not going to keep doing a slideshow the whole time, just so you know. But track progress and celebrate wins. Use tools like shared trackers, scorecards, or regular progress reviews. Celebrating milestones keeps motivation high. I mean, go on Google. There's plenty of tools. There's plenty of things that you can use to help.
Oh, you muted yourself.
Yeah, there's plenty of tools out there that you guys can use. I use one called ClickUp. It's a project management tool. You can use things like that. ClickUp is one example, but you don't even have to get that fancy. I mean, honestly, you can use a shared Google Doc, right? And start tracking, or a shared Excel sheet and track, you know, when things get done. So this is a big one, and this is something I was going to have a conversation with Pansy with or have a conversation with Pansy about when it's time to. We're getting there with this part of it, but yeah, we want to track our progress, because if you're not tracking it, how do you know stuff's getting done? How do you know when stuff's getting done? But then on the other side of it is celebrating the milestones and keep the motivation up, and that's where celebrating the wins. You gotta, even if they're small wins. That's why, like in the Facebook group too, it's just celebrate your wins. Talk about what's going on and celebrate the wins, and talk about your losses too, right? It's good to talk about people. I feel like all people do is talk about their wins sometimes, right? Talk about your losses too, and maybe you could meet someone or get into a discussion about how to avoid that in the future, right? Or how to not get into the same situation again, right? So that's that. So keep track progress and celebrate wins. And then the last piece is just self-accountability. This is kind of the most obvious of all of it, is no accountability partner is going to save you if you aren't first committed to your own success. Use partners to amplify, not substitute. And again, guilty as charged, right? If the idea is I'm going to find an accountability partner and that's going to be the thing that makes me want to do the thing, you're already you're already at a loss. You should be learning to hold yourself, like you should want to do the thing. If you don't, then ask yourself why. And if the answer is it's just not where my brain's at, or it's just not where what gives me energy, it's not what motivates me, cool, have an honest conversation with yourself or with your partner about it and figure out, maybe it's time to focus on something or do something else or focus on some of your strengths where you are going to get that motivation. But yeah, don't be go looking for an accountability partner to be that person that suddenly makes you motivated, because it doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. So, um, yeah, guys, I wanted to go through, this episode is just Pansy and I, and we wanted to kind of come together and talk about accountability and what we're doing and share that with everybody. And as we get to the next stages of it, we'll share that too, and let everybody know kind of what we're doing. But yeah, is there anything you want to share, Pansy? Anything you want to add to that?
No, I think you covered a lot.
Yeah. I know that was a lot, guys. I know that was a lot. I know there's, we're doing slides, we're talking about all the different pieces of accountability and all that, but what it really comes down to is holding yourself disciplined and holding yourself accountable before even ever going and looking for an accountability partner. Figuring out, is this what you want? Is this thing that you're doing something that you actually want?
I think that's important too.
Yeah.
Like, I think we put ourselves sometimes in um, certain positions that we really don't have any interest in.
Hmm.
And so it is difficult to want to do those
Yeah.
tasks.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and how do you pivot from what you're doing into something new, possibly, especially if you've been working on something for so long,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And maybe it just doesn't feel right. I don't know.
Um, well, for me too, like I'm big on, I want to help people, right? I want to help people out. And that can go a lot of different ways. When you want to help someone, it's a good feeling. It makes you feel good, right? And that's great. But what happens is if that's all you're doing is helping other people, it's very easy to get taken advantage of, one. And two, it's also easy to get kind of lost in what you were originally setting yourself out to do, right? Because now you're helping all these people do all these other things, right? So you gotta be really careful with that.
Yeah, I'm guilty of that
100%, 10,000%.
because I want to help
Yeah,
everyone if I can, you know. I mean, that's how I found the real estate community,
yeah,
is wanting to help others and needing more resources,
yeah,
needing people that can help better than myself. I
yeah,
can't do it all. And there were many things that I just couldn't do it, you know, like I just didn't have the skills or knowledge or whatever. And I
and
wanted,
that's okay though,
yeah,
right?
no, I wanted to find the people that did,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know, that could better help. And that's what this podcast is about. That's what our Facebook group is about. Just not about real estate. It's about finding those people that want to help you build whatever it is,
yeah,
you know, and even if it's not building something, maybe you're going through something. Like we have people that help with foreclosure. Um, you know, they help find housing and supply housing for homeless, all different situations. Um,
dude, I bet you we have some therapists in the group,
yeah, well, we do, right? And then we
yeah,
have even like that one hypnotist guy, right?
yeah, yeah,
Um,
that's right.
we have authors.
Amazing.
I mean, there's so many different people that we know, and with so many different backgrounds and um different education and whatnot. So the more we can come together and use our already given skills, right? The things
Yeah.
that we're already doing naturally and use it to help others also do the same. I mean, I call it a win if we could do that.
I would say it's a win. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Um, Something to add, like when there's nothing wrong with helping people. Make sure that when you're helping people that you do have the ability to help them, because if you don't, you know, and you can point them to somebody else who maybe can or has more better skills or what have you, then it's kind of like you've got to be honest with you. You've got to know yourself, right? It comes to like know thyself, right?
Don't step in and try to do the work if you're
Yeah, I
not able
mean,
to do it. I get that because I have been in that position many a times. And
yeah,
that's why I said I needed more people.
yeah, yeah.
Like we can't,
But that's part of
yeah,
being a business owner too, is recognizing like, okay, where are my strengths? I'm gonna lean into my strengths, and the stuff that I'm not good at, there are plenty of people out there that are way better at this than I am. So let's go find those people that want to be a part. Now it's difficult to do that when you're beginning in business because you can't really pay anybody yet. But that shouldn't be an excuse. There's plenty of people that want to be a part of something, and if you can promise people equity, or you can bring them in as in the early stages, and as long as people know you've got a direction and there's a destination and there's a goal that we're all driving towards, people are all for that. So you don't necessarily have to pay people right away. Um, and for yourself, when you're helping people, be honest with yourself. Do you have the skills to do this? And if you don't, be honest about where your skills are. And um, if you want to acquire those skills, like we should all be trying to learn every single day. We should be learning something new every single day. If you're not learning on a regular basis, maybe being a business owner is not the right choice, because you really do have to like learn you have to be willing to learn new things on a fairly regular clip. Um, or be really willing to go and find the people that understand the thing more than you do and bring them in, right? It's one of those two things. But even still, even with that, you still got to be willing to learn. So if you don't have the skill, be honest with the person that you're thinking about helping, because it's also not fair to them. If you don't have the skills that they need help with, it's just going to waste both of your time. You know what I mean? And so think about it in that form too. But there's so many cool ways. Like I was listening to, I forget the guy's name, but he's on Instagram a lot. He's a wholesaler, but he talks about, he was doing these Instagram videos, and he met this guy on Instagram, and the guy said, "Hey, look, I suck at wholesaling, but I'm really good at video editing. And maybe we can do a value trade where you teach me how to wholesale like you're doing, and I help you with your awful Instagram videos." You know what I mean?
I like
So
that kind of trade. I mean,
yeah,
I can use some help with social media and
yeah. Are you
that,
kidding me? Are you
you know.
kidding me? Like we are right now, and again, this is what a new podcast. This is what everybody had to start somewhere. Nobody started with like unless you just had a boatload of money to start off with. Usually, nobody starts with like amazing quality uh social media video, Instagram videos, podcast video, whatever. You got to start somewhere. Um, so yeah, value trade. There's plenty of that. Especially in that we want that in our group. That's what it's all about. So if we can help each other out, and by the way, I'm going to say it again. That's what these lives are for. If you guys are not in our Facebook group, go join it. I'll put the link in the description. We got a link to our Facebook group in every one of our videos, just about. So go click on one of our older videos and go look up the Facebook group. Go join it, subscribe to the podcast, jump into the community, and start meeting people. Start meeting people who are business owners, who are real estate investors, who are people, like-minded people, and build up your network. Build up your black book of business, if you will, right?
We have Megan on here. Did Did she want to like put any?
Yeah, well, it seems like Megan took off. No, she's doing, it looks like she's doing, oh, there she is. I see her walking back up to her.
She's probably painting or something. She's
Yeah,
always
yeah, yeah. I'll
like
bring, do you
back
want to come up, Megan? Do you want to say
there or
anything? Do you
anything.
want to share anything?
No, I actually I do like the accountability part. Like it is hard to find anybody who, like it's always easy in the beginning,
Mhm.
and then it seems like they kind of taper off because people get busy or it's just like nothing really pulls them to it as, me and Pansy have kind of seen too.
Yeah.
But it's just like, sometimes you just get so busy you forget, it's like, hey, I need to, hold myself accountable that. And yeah, the struggle is real.
Yeah.
We all need accountability.
Yeah.
Me, everybody has their own struggles, but yeah, I'm just like, okay, my new focus is the gym.
Yeah.
I have a pop gut going on, and
Yeah.
so, that's my priority again because I miss the gym. As busy as we all are, it's a good stress relief. We all need the gym, but
It is. It is. I mean, for me, if I don't go work out, I can tell my brain doesn't function. You know what I mean? Like you gotta have some kind of release like that.
It's
Uh,
easier to get moving if I include exercise
yeah,
regularly in my day. And
yeah.
most recently, speaking of accountability and, things, one of the things that I had included was adding strength training
Mhm.
into my workouts because I've been
Yeah.
doing yoga for years,
Yeah.
but it, I felt like I needed more than just what I've been doing. And, so I added strength training.
Yeah.
Um, I did my arms one, like arms, upper body one day, and then yesterday I did legs, like
Nice.
my thigh, right? Like, I'm telling you,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's hurting today. So I must have actually done a good workout.
That's a good hurt though. That's a good hurt. That's what you want. You
as
want those
long as you
sore
can
muscles.
move,
Yeah.
yeah, as long as you can
Very.
move. I mean, it depends, if you're hurting where it's like, okay, I busted a spleen or something, no,
No,
but
no, my legs feel bruised. They do. They feel bruised, and it's very kind of difficult to walk today.
Yeah,
And
but that's the thing is like as you start to do it, this is what I've found, especially with exercise. It's a discipline. So if you start to do it and it starts to get easier and easier
momentum.
to
Yeah.
yeah, it starts to get easier and easier to do it on a regular basis.
Yeah.
And then it's nothing. Then it's just like a part of your routine, right?
Well,
Uh,
that's the thing though, like you can get too comfortable in your routine too, right? Like the yoga thing. Like I've been doing yoga fairly for like fairly like almost every day. That's okay. Um, for the most part, like for 4 years or something.
mm,
But like I was just doing it because I like had to get it done, right? Like I need some exercise. This is what has been, I guess, I don't even want to say the word easy because yoga's not necessarily easy, but that was what was the easiest way for me to get started with a regular routine for exercising.
yeah.
Believe it or not, when I first started, I was so like weak. 5 minutes of yoga really took a toll on me. I had to work my way up and but then so I worked my way up to like roughly like 30 minutes. No, like I know people go longer, but I honestly get bored after a little while. So I need something different. And so I'm like, okay, I'll do roughly 30 minutes at least of yoga. But I didn't feel like it was really pushing me and giving me muscle. I need muscle, right? So
Right.
it so then I said, well, where can I do this in strength training? And I have found this lady online and have been watching her videos. And it's short videos. Like yesterday was like 20 minutes. And I'm feeling it today. You don't need a whole lot of time to get those exercises in. You
Yeah.
just, you just got to do it.
Yeah.
And when you start feeling more like too comfortable in your workout, like it's just like, oh, I'm just getting through my workout kind of thing.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's actually a really good point.
You got to switch it up.
You got to switch it up. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's something that I try and do. I mean, for working out, it's called muscle confusion. If you're doing weights and things, you want you plateau. You start doing exercises, your muscles plateau because it gets used to the exercise, used to the weight. At best, you can increase the weight and bulk up, but you're not going to see as quick of gains as you had before. So you got to switch it up and do different exercises. They call it muscle confusion, but that's a real thing. You can get complacent just like in anything else. It's like cool, I'm being disciplined, I'm going to the gym, I'm doing my workouts, but in reality, yes, you're going to the gym and you're doing workouts, but you're not improving.
Yeah.
You're just you've now hit a plateau and you're not really going anywhere anymore.
Yeah.
Right?
That's where I felt like I was with
Yeah.
like I wasn't doing enough. So
Yeah. Well, listen, Megan, thank you for jumping on. She looks like she
I know
thank you
she's
for the
doing a
background.
bonfire, which is
Lighting a bonfire up. That's pretty awesome. Um, so yeah, but I appreciate you jumping up on there if she can still hear me.
I'm sure she could.
Um, yeah. Um, she's muted, so she probably doesn't know she's muted.
No, she probably muted on purpose.
Oh,
So,
she's right. Yeah, I should probably mute her. That's all right. But anyways, guys, yeah, one more time, jump in here. We do these every Friday. We're not stopping. If anything, we're gonna be starting to do more and on different days. Like I said, we have some really cool guests coming up. So that we can obviously bring more value to the community, to the group. And it's gonna be really cool. And we're gonna keep doing it. This is part of us being consistent, is doing this on every Friday, no matter what, right? Does that mean there may be some Friday in the future where something comes up that just makes it impossible? Sure. But we're not going to let the point is we're not going to let excuses come up and make it deviate from our consistency. We're going to be consistent no matter what. Maybe if we can't do it on a Friday, maybe we do it on an earlier day. We do it on a Thursday instead, right? It's just about getting it done and continuing to bring value and continuing to be true to ourselves and getting the work done, So anyway, thank you everybody again for all those of you who are watching and participating. We really appreciate you guys. And even the ones, new people in our Facebook group, we really appreciate you guys too. Let's keep building this thing.
yeah.
Just to end this off, I've noticed that a lot of communities, they start to get big and they start to get watered down. And I really don't want to let that happen. I want this to be a community of people who really want to be there. And it's
Yeah.
not just about,
Yeah. Let's be there for each other and get
yeah,
to know each other, right? Like,
yeah,
let's build
yeah,
I like to think of it as a family.
yeah. And that's really what it is. If the idea is, for our Facebook group, guys, there's just a few things I want to touch on here because I don't know if we've really ever talked about this. But if you're going to join the Facebook community, we have some questions that we ask you to answer. If you can't do that simple thing of answering the questions on the Facebook group, you're not going to get let in. It's really simple. There are
And we only do
guidelines.
that to make sure that you're not a scammer, right?
Yeah,
We
yeah,
want honest, good people in there.
yeah,
We don't want to, bots and spammers and
yeah, yeah.
people that are coming in to take advantage of anyone and whatnot. So,
Yeah, and so if you find yourself that you're still like you haven't been approved for the Facebook group yet, go back and answer the questions. And if you have trouble with that, or if you're not able to find where the questions are, you're not getting prompted for them anymore, DM Pansy or I, and we'll figure it out. We'll help you get approved for the group, okay?
yeah.
But it's important that everybody who wants to join the Facebook group as we go along, as we grow this thing, that you answer those questions for exactly the reasons that Pansy said. And if you want to friend Pansy or I, another big point, send us a message first. Before you send that, you can send the friend request, but send a message along with it. Like, hey, just sent you a friend request. My name is,
I
and
saw you on your podcast
yeah,
or, you
yeah,
know, like give us an explanation of who you are and why you would like to be our friend and
yeah,
everything.
yeah,
Again, we're just being cautious because we're looking out for obviously ourselves and the people that we are doing business with
yeah,
and whatever.
yep,
So
yep.
I'm sorry it's so dark. I sat outside and of course it got dark while I'm out here.
That's all right.
I need to get like a light over here somewhere.
Yeah, that's all right. You still look fine. Yeah, it is a little bit dark, but that's all good. So that's basically it, guys. Thank you again for Pansy and Justin. This is the Friends with Facebook, Friends with Facebook,
Friends with me.
Friends with Facebook, Friends with Benefits podcast. I'm gonna do that again. I'm gonna edit that completely out. I'm gonna do that again.
No, I think you should leave it.
You
It's
think I
fine.
should leave the Friends with Facebook in there? No, but again, thank you guys for being here and for participating and for the support and everything. I'm Justin. This is Pansy. This is the Friends with Benefits podcast, and we will see you next time. Thanks again.